Listeners Paradise presents Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. In this, I'll be reading the poem. I'll give you important words, explain the poem, the themes in the poem, and the rhyme scheme of the poem. I'll read the poem to you. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Important words in the poem: desire, favor, perish, destruction, suffice. I'll explain the poem to you. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. The poet says here the world will end in fire. Some people are of the opinion that the world will one day end in fire. That means fire. There can be a volcanic eruption, or there can be wars, or maybe just some burning, like forest fires burning, things burning, and that will end by fire. Some people are of that opinion. Some say in ice, and some say that it may be an icy world. All of a sudden, ice will overtake the whole world. Things will just become frosty and very, very cold, and that will bring an end to the world. That is what some people think. But see what the poet says. But from what I have tasted of desire, he says, what I have tasted of desire. That means one time in his life, sometime, the poet says he also tasted desire. Now, desire here is symbolic of fire, that fire which burns inside your mind, your heart, makes you do things, drives you to action, right? You are doing something, you are creating something, the fire of the thing, the enthusiasm, the zeal, that thing which makes you do, drives you to achieve it. Something you have to achieve. A sportsman wants to achieve his targets, his goal. A scientist wants to achieve his ideas which he has done well. That desire. You want to study and do your best, your desire. That's also fire within you. So here the poet says, from what I have tasted of desire, he has also tasted this desire, this fire of trying to do things. I hold with those who favor fire. He says, I hold, I am with, I support those who favor fire. Fire, which is in the creative world, which is doing things, right? He is talking about that beautiful world to be achieved with that passion of fire, that enthusiasm. But he says next, but in the fifth line, but if it had to perish twice. Now see here the word perish. Perish means destruction, total destruction. Fire can bring destruction. That means even enthusiasm which is wrongly done, something which is wrongly thought of. The human mind has both the good and the bad. Fire is both good and bad. Good fire, bad fire. Good fire is what your mama uses in the kitchen to cook food. In the lab, we are tasting things. They are good fire. Bad fire, which is dangerous, which may engulf the world. You talk about wars, they are bad fires. Fires which are sometimes burning down forests, they are bad fires. So it perishes things. It just destroys things. So the poet says, but if I had to perish twice, mind you, not once but twice, you are being perished. Fire, when it burns, it perishes once. But if twice, if you are talking about things done double time, perish, destruction done double time, the poet explains it, says, I think I know enough of hate. He says, I think I know. He's very sure that he knows enough, much of hate. Hate, when people dislike, full of greed, full of their feelings of avarice, cruelty, selfishness, correct? Which makes you say, I hate that. The word hate itself is too bad, correct? He says, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction eyes is also great and would suffice. He says, hate, when people hate somebody else, when people dislike someone else, when they just are cruel, rigid, they are very cold towards others. They don't want to treat others well. They are not ready to accept the other person because they hate him. To say that for destruction, ice which makes you feel cold, and if it is too cold, a person can die if he doesn't have the insulation to make himself warm. Similarly, when you just ignore somebody, when you just become rigid and don't look after something or somebody, he says, is also great. That iciness, that ill feeling, that hate is great. It will suffice. It is sufficient to kill twice, to make an end of the world. The themes in the poem, the poet is talking about the destructive power of human desires, passion, and how they can lead to the downfall of individuals and society. But human beings can bring a balance in their attitudes to create a better world in spite of the negativities. Both desire and passion, if it is minus good sense or balance, can kill a person. One needs to adopt a never give up attitude towards oneself. When desire, like greed, lust for material things, when it exceeds, it can kill an individual because they lose the power of correct thinking. Similarly, ice, which is personified as human weakness, like hate, cruelty, fury, coldness, conflict, greed, selfishness, intolerance, insensitivity, indifference, then that can also be killing. This type of cold, cunning, crooked nature of hating others again is harmful to the individual as well as the society. When people have this nature, it can ruin the world twice over. Many a times the rich and the powerful people dislike, hate the struggling poor. This ice can perish the world twice. In fact, when he wrote the poem, this poem was written after the First World War, and the poet had seen the danger of that war. The poet, therefore, is of the opinion that in that case, instead of that cold feeling, negative feeling of denying others a better world, the poet feels, is of the opinion, fire is a better choice. Let them have that drive. Let people have that drive to do things, achieve things, do it better. And if they can do, they can make it better maybe. He says, I hold those who favor fire. Literally says, I favor fire. fire is a symbol of, you can say, across the cultures and the world, it is a symbol of good things, symbol of divinity, wisdom, knowledge, zeal, martyrdom. Fire is a holy thing there. So he says, I favor fire because fire, if it is man can use it properly, it can bring in a better world. The ironsmith uses fire to make things. So fire here is also representative of emotions like warmth, enthusiasm, creativity. It creates, excess of fire can create aggression, impatience, impulsiveness. Just as fire provides heat and warmth in excess can also burn. Fire is associated with negative emotions of hate and positive emotion of joy and happiness. Now when you talk about the poem, the two different views of how the world will end, where he says that the forces of desire, the forces of hate, desire is fire, forces of hate is ice. Both can lead to destruction of the world. The poet does not provide any definite answer whether it will end by fire or by ice. He justifies both the views. Initially, he cites those who say world will end by fire because of the unlimited human desires. But after a second thought, he says ice is equally capable of destroying the world. If it is to die twice, it is the indifferent attitude of human beings towards others' feelings which can do that. The poet, in fact, wants us, the theme just see, the human beings can bring a balance in the attitudes to create a better world in spite of negativities. The poet here wants us to discover our feelings, note those feelings and emotions within us, and channel it for balancing our attitudes to create a better world. The poetic devices. Symbolism. Symbolism is a use of symbols to signify some ideas by giving them symbolic meaning different from their literal meaning. For example, fire symbolizes desire with human emotions like lust, fury, cruelty, greed, etc. Ice symbolizes the hatred with cold feelings of humans such as rigidity, jealousy, indifference, intolerance, etc. Imagery. Here the reader would visualize the destruction through fire or ice. Personification. In this poem, fire and ice are capable to destroy the earth. They are personified. Anaphora. Some say sir, the sound is repeated at the start of the line 1 and 2. Alliteration. The sound of S is some say f, f in favor fire, and w in world will were. That sound is repeated. So there is an alliteration. Assonance. I hold with those who favor fire. In this line, the long sound of O is used. Hold those who favor. O sound is used. Repeated. Enjambment. It is a line or a clause that does not come to an end at a line break. Rather, it moves over to the next line. This device has been used prominently in the poem. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. It has been going over to the next line. Metaphor. Here, the poet has used the terms fire and ice as metaphors for human emotions related to desire and hatred. Antithesis. Fire is the antithesis of ice. Two contrasting and directly opposite destructive forces has been the hallmark of this poem. Fire and ice. The rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B. In the first stanza, fire rhymes with desire. In the second stanza, ice rhymes with suffice and hate rhymes with great. It is a 9-line small poem. Thank you for listening.